Hi everyone, welcome to this interactive session where we will be discussing about how to select a PGDM and the MBA college on the basis of your CMAT score. I'm sure all of you might have seen the response sheet of the CMAT exams which has come out last evening, and now you guys have the predicted score, that what is the overall score and the percentile that you guys are mapping up to. Now the big question is that on the basis of your predicted score and the percentile which you're expecting, which college to consider, how to consider colleges, and what are the further round of applications. To demystify all the possible myths and to clear all the possible misconceptions which you have in your mind, we have called Mr. Shubhesh Ranjan, who is the head of admissions at AICTE. Welcome on board, sir. How are you doing this morning?
Okay, thank you. Thanks for calling me over and giving me this opportunity.
So there's a bunch of questions with students who have cleared the CMAT exam just now, and possibly some of the students who are still waiting for better colleges on the level of CAT, ZAT, MAT, and the other examinations also. And the most recent, the CMAT exam, which has happened now, to consider the applications of PGDM and the MBA colleges ahead. So possibly I'm just going to convey those questions to you. And with all the experience and the association which you have got with AICTE or Adani College, you can possibly help us to fine tune our thought process to clear or possibly to select a good college in the upcoming journey. Okay.
Surely.
Now, certainly, let's say the CMAT response sheet has come just now in the last 24 hours. And the predicted scores, it's available with the students. In the next 48 to 36 hours, students will also be given the final percentile, what they have got, the concrete percentile. So what is the overall weightage of this percentile or the raw score which I will get in CMAT? I'm sure your specific college of AICTE and the other colleges, if I talk in general, will look into all the parameters. Like either you should have given some or the other competitive examination, so there's some weightage in the selection. You will screen the students on the level of other parameters also, right? Which could be the profile-based call or possibly purely on the level of the academic achievements or the past academic records. So what is the overall role of this CMAT percentile, or let's say CAT or ZAT or any other exam percentile in the selection?
See, any B school, I mean, the B school selection process in general, if we talk about, there's a two-way that, I mean, this industry is following. One is purely on the cutoff base, the performance in the particular exam. Okay, we call it this cutoff based selection process. Once you clarify that and the lot any college get, then they try to find out the best fitted, the best suited student for them. Mm-hmm. That's the one way of doing it. There's a few other colleges like us, we look for the profile-based selection process. What I mean by the profile-based selection process, that we see as a student as a journey, what he has done or she has done in his or her life, his academic scores, apart from the academics, whether you have the work experience or not, relevant work experience, any extracurricular activities he or she must have achieved in that. And along with that, performance during the admission process. It could be the PI, it could be any entrance, I mean, in-house exam as well that many colleges conduct, and then the competitive exam score as well. So there's a weightage to each section, and cumulative scores will decide whether the candidate will get selected or rejected. So that's how the profile-based selection process works in our case.
So you are saying CMAT exam score will not be a point of elimination. It's a further point of selection, right?
Yes. Yes, it's just an addition to your profile.
No doubt. And towards the end, any student will be judged on the level of the composite score, right?
Yes.
So if you can just tell me what, in terms of matrices, what percentage attribute will you keep for the given exams of CMAT or CAT or ZAT or any other examination?
Firstly, we don't differentiate between the one exam to another exam, because every exam has been made on certain objective, because it is all has been designed by some experts. So we don't differentiate between the exam, we don't prioritize between the exams. However, the weightage we have given to the entrance exam is the 20%. Any the best scores of, and for example, any student applying with the 2 or 3, I mean, taking the 2 or 3 exam, they can apply with these 2 or 3 exam. The best score we will consider. And the overall weightage is given to the 20% in the overall selection process.
But at least the students would have to notify to the college that they have given multiple exams. Some people still consider that, okay, I have applied for from the CAT exam also, and CAT will be the most preferred exam for the business school selection.
No, we don't follow that.
That's not the
case. We don't follow that.
Whatever is the highest score, I'm going to put across that, right?
Yes.
So
very simple.
So amazing to see that. Cool. And let me also summarize, the students will be judged on the level of the composite score. It is not an elimination round. They will be called for the further round of GDPI. You will evaluate them on the level of the past academic records. And you have also mentioned that let's say the sync between the college program and the profile will be a parameter of work experience also. Now, I understand people who have got experience will be given preference, but what's happening with those students who do not have the experience in the similar domain, but they still want to do something in technology management?
Okay, this is an interesting question, and probably this is in the mind of many students who are freshers, especially. See, there's a weightage to the for the experienced student. I agree. There's a 10% weightage. For in our case, that we have given the 10% weightage to the experience, depending on the number of the work experience. But it's not the case. I mean, it's not a demerit for the anybody who don't have the work experience. So, for example, when we take it the overall profile, only thing is you need to keep in mind how you can overdo the people who have the work experience. You perform better in the, I mean, during the interview on the subject, you can perform better in the competitive exam scores. Okay, you must have better profile in terms of academics. You can showcase how you have done differently, I mean, extracurricular activities in recent time. So this is all the part of the profile building. People normally, when we say profile building, they consider only the work experience. That's not the case. Profile is the composite. So there's no, we don't give preference to the experienced people. Okay, it's just a composite. Yes, they have the advantage of this 10%, but depends on how many years of work experience they have. If they have the 2 years of work experience, that you can normalize within 1 to 10, right? So hardly 1 or 2 or 3 marks will differ with the without experience, right?
Got it.
So now I like to add one thing over here is people who don't have the work experience, they can show the internship they have done, right?
Okay.
Yes, it will not add the points, but it adds the cherry point during the interview.
Certainly, yes. So you're saying still I'll have more or better chances to get more marks in PI if at all I'm able to impress someone with the overall achievements, if whatever I've done apart from the experience also.
That's
right. So I mean, now let's say I'm sure the bunch of business schools applications is going to start now. Once the CMAT or actual or the results have been notified, all the colleges will again start the application round one more time. Now, certainly the students cannot fill all the college applications that we have in India, or possibly what they have in their mind also. In a typical case scenario, we have seen students applying for 4 or 5 colleges on the level of CMAT or any other exam on the basis of any of the recent examination what they have taken. Now, what parameters do you think a college or let's say a student should select before they even select, okay, these are the top 5 colleges or 4 colleges where I should send my application to? There are numerous things which goes in my mind, and possibly I do not know the weightage of each and everything. For me, possibly fees is the most important part. Possibly for someone else, the placement is going to be the most important part, right? To normalize this, as so with you have seen the experience with respect to various colleges and certainly with selection of various students also. So what do you think any aspirant should keep those 5 or 4 or 6 important parameters to see and judge and see their do their primary research before sending the application?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, as you likely mentioned, for each individual have the different, it's a ranking of these parameters. What I'm trying to tell is like, these are the 4 or 5 most important parameters that any student should look into it. This has come from my own experience when I was looking for and what I've learned. So student can take their own, which are the most important for them. I mean, it depends upon the individual. But for me, if any student looking for the B school, they should first look for is like who is running the college, because vision comes from the people who are running the college. Okay, it could be any group is running that. What's the vision of the group? For example, for us, it's backed by the Adani group. Okay, I mean, it's everybody knows that the fastest growing corporate right now in the country. So that vision has to be embedded in this college as well. Everything has to be in line with the Adani vision, right? Adani group vision. That's one. Second is like teaching methodology, which is very critical in nowadays, right? Or for example, when I say that teaching methodology, I mean subject, yes, everybody follow the same, same subject, same book, author, but where the difference is coming is one is the teaching methodology. What are the case studies? I mean, the case studies included or not, simulations are done in not. Others could be the industry connect. It could be informing industry visit. How many industry visit they do? How many industry leaders come to and talk to the student? For example, in our college, in last 8 or 9 months, around 40 industry leaders already visited our campus, interacted to the student. This create a lot of impact because faculty teach you other subject, but application, what is happening in the industry, are guided and told by the industry leaders who are doing the job. Okay, what are the future skills are required? What is future coming? So these are all impact the student. That's another important which I always recommend is a faculty also. Yeah. Like how many professors, I mean, what are the research papers that done in which line? For example, if you, for us, for example, we run the big data analytics program. So the student need to check who are teaching the faculty, who are the visiting faculty. Okay, if they have done in PhD in the big data analytics or not, in analytics field, not big data, analytics field. So these are things need to be researched. Okay, I mean, because there's another point is I normally give the importance to this is the size of the program or the class. Okay, because end of the day, the students, faculty student ratio matters a lot when it comes to the mentorship. If you have larger size, you will be one of in the bunch of student. When this size is small, this faculty focus to each student would be different. So I always recommend if you have the lesser, I mean, batch size is small, then your personal growth will be more because you will get more time of your faculty. Faculty will be more accessible. Lastly, I would say Industry Connect, which I have covered in the teaching methodology. Industry Connect is very important. End of the day, it's a management program. We are talking about the management program. Management program, half of the things learned by the peer and half of the things learned by the connecting with the industry. What is happening inside the industry? You can read article, you can read numerous articles, but what is the implication of the teaching or those articles happening in the industry will take you through the Industry Connect. It's through the web conferences, it could be the industry people visiting you. And lastly, I would say the accreditation, because it's a hygiene factor, at least that's also validates the quality. Like AICTE approval is not, which is basic, anybody should look into it.
So certainly you are saying all the colleges which are AICTE approved will be in one bucket, but certainly those colleges which are non-AICTE approved, people or students should not keep that high priority for those colleges in terms of accreditation.
In terms of accreditation, I mean, see, from the academics, I don't differentiate, but yes, I can talk about what is the advantage of the AICTE or accreditations. What happened is, first we need to understand what is AICTE. What does it does? Basically, it does, I mean, quality check. Okay, that's one. Second is that AICTE also keep improving the program by introducing new subject, new program. So the quality of education should go and it's usually to the world-class standard. That's the motive. I mean, so there's one body who keep a regular check on it. And also, it also very important, it's validate the degree offered by an institute. It's validate that, which is very important. If it's, I mean, because end of the day, there's a third party should validate that.
No doubt, no doubt. Now coming to the most important part where you've spoken about the corporate connect, it also depends on the stint or let's say the number of months of tenure the student have actually experienced in terms of the summer internship. Now there are certain colleges which gives you 2 months of summer internship. There are certain colleges which gives you dual summer internship, summer and winter internship. There are colleges which gives you 6 months of internship also. So what is the whole logic behind students should spend more time in the corporate where they are looking forward to join? Is it a simulation? Is it to become job ready before they actually sit for the placements or to make their own network outside? What is it all about to harp so much on the summer internship all about?
I mean, you already covered that by saying, I mean, whatever the points you have said about the Industry Connect or Corporate Connect is valid. But it depends upon each institution, how they design that process. how their student will, how they design the process of connecting student and the corporate. So one way of doing is the summer internship that has been designed with AICTE norms itself. Okay, you need to give that. Apart from that, for example, in AIDTM, the summer internship is the one that is a part of the curriculum. We also provide the projects. If you see our curriculum, the last semester, mandatory, the student has to go through the corporate, capstone project. Okay. The capstone project could be from the Adani group and it could be from the, that's we provide. That's part of, because we want, as you rightly said, we want our student to be future ready for the corporate, because after that they will be working. Okay. See, and it also, for us, it becomes very critical because of the nature of the program we offer. We offer in big data analytics and the technology management, where theory is one part, but application of those theories become very critical for any student to understand. So that is why we also have in-house lab, digital lab, where the student actually go through those processes. They see the simulation, what exactly is happening, how it is happening. And we also keeping, for example, our student already started their internship, first internship. Then they will go for second, and at the end, they will go to capstone projects. So they are we have created multiple interaction point with the industry and the student where they can learn the application, along with the industry visit as well, where they see actually what is happening, how it is happening. They are learning this, but how the application is happening in the industry. So we have created those kinds of interaction point where they can have the industry connect. Apart from the regular visit, being from Adani, we have the access to the India best leaders, so they can interact with the student, that is there. But apart from that, these are the actually learn by doing it, the application side.
No doubt. And certainly students who are looking forward to get some more possibly insight about the program outline, they can visit the main website of the college where they can go through the pedagogy, the curriculum what the college has made regarding the PGDM programs. And certainly they can even speak to the students who are studying inside, right? By connecting them on LinkedIn or any of the social platform to know the experience how it's going to go with them.
It's not the, it's unsaid. You can visit any student, everybody is available on LinkedIn, each college. So that's the best way to get the reviews as well for this college.
No doubt. Certainly, yes. Now, coming to the most important point, after the CMAT examination, the students will be judged on the level of various aspects, on the level of GD, group exercise, case discussion, VAT or PI. Certain colleges will have their own protocol. I want to understand what is the weightage of person interview. On the subjective matter also, because it's going to be the last chance on which they can be screened, and on the level of the percentage attribution towards PI also. If you can help me out with some more knowledge on that.
Okay. Yes, I normally people, when we say the PI, every student look at it as like rejections. But I always say it's a selections. How you get a last chance to show that you are the best fit for this college and the program. That's the selection process. Okay. So now, every college have their own weightage to the PI and own criteria to look into it. But I believe what in AIDTM, I think it's more or less similar to the each college that they look into. So in Adani, in AIDTM, what we look at is like why he want to do, this particular program. There's what is the objective, what he want to achieve in his life. That's one, motive behind it, what we call it a motive. And that motive is getting aligned with our program and our philosophy now. That is very important, because this is where it's like selection. It's not a selection process nowadays. It's just a best fitment process. Whether you fit in this particular program or we fit in your objective or not. Unless that happens, nothing going to work. If that happens, both do wonders. That's how I see it. That's one thing of the. Second is like one called communication. When I say the communication, it's not the good English. Normally, people get confused with the communication is the good English. No, it is not. Communication is your thought, whether you are able to, pass on your thought process to the person sitting in front of you or not, whether you're able to pass on your thought process or not. That's the communication. That's second. Third is like awareness about the about around you. That's very important. Current affairs could be one. And around you, you should be aware of. You should have opinion about it. That's because that shows a critical thinking, whether you're thinking or not. The objective is to know that. And that's become very critical when you join the management program. Second is like, lastly, we always look into when you come to the critically selecting a student or looking at the fitment, then it's become whether a student able to think and apply his thought process or not. Whether the student able to think and apply that thinking to application or not. Whether that the journey is with that student thought process or not. Okay. So these are the few things that we'll look into the any student during the PI.
I think that's one of the good insight, because students consider that personal interview is all about communication. If they can communicate or be well versed with English as a communication language, they get selected, though it is not the case. Right?
No,
so
that's not
the case. So that's the important positive takeaway that the student should consider before they prepare for the colleges like AIDTM and the other colleges. Right?
In fact, each parameter have their own weightage during the interview. For example, if I've just wanted to say to those students who thinks that they have the better English in communication, they have the command over the English, so they will get a brownie point. But if they fail in other, other points, they will not get selected. So that is why many students, my interview went very well, but I didn't get a call. That's the reason.
Totally understand. I can relate with all the students who are actually coming up by after giving the IIM and the non-IIM colleges interview rounds and finally getting disheartened why they have not been selected for the given programs. So amazing insight which you have shared, Mr. Shubhesh. And now comparing with all the other colleges vis-a-vis in the same PGDM domain, where does AIDTM stand? Why should people consider AIDTM to be one of the primary colleges for sending the applications for the PGDM programs?
Okay. AIDTM is new in the block, and we are here to realize the new age specialization. Okay. So when I say the new age specialization is into the big data analytic technology management right now. Now, why AIDTM is like, one is very obvious. It's come from backed by the Adani group, with the reason is, as I already mentioned in previously, that it's one of the fastest growing company, and Adani itself has a very vast vision of digitalization in its own company as well as outside. So we are moving in that direction. With that thought process, we have started this college as well. That's point number one. When I say the Adani group, why? Now I'll answer the why AIDTM. One is the Adani, of course, when it comes to Adani, it's created a lot of opportunity for the student. As I already mentioned, the corporate connect, that is what. The opportunities in Adani itself are huge. In terms of the analytics field itself and the digital space, for example, Adani also come up with the data centers, the analytics, the Adani Digital Lab. So inside Adani, the opportunities are huge. That's why. So the live project which I mentioned, they will get continuous live project from the Adani group itself. That if the student want the surety, they call the surety. It's not only they get the Adani, but in our internship as well, only 2 students got into the Adani group, remaining have got to the different other companies. But of course, they have their second project as well. So they will get into Adani. The capstone projects are there, they get into the Adani. So that's, along with that, Adani, when we say Adani, you get the top technology managers or the chief technology officer, we call it. They come interact with the student. We are located next to the Adani group house. So it's become, they are very accessible to the student. That's become very vital in terms of the management field. Because the more you know about the future, how to take decision, where is applying, the process applying, that's become very critical. That's thirdly, say now, Adani, if you see our curriculum, it's a globally designed, and it's when we have designed the curriculum, if you see, if you talk about the one big data analytics, we are not talking about the BI and all those, which is offered by many, college normally, but we have got into the neural language and price analytics. There's hardcore deep analytics. So anybody who looking in the analytics will want to make career in this, probably that's one of the best suited programs that we have designed. And that is the reason why, I mean, in the first year itself, all these students have got internship. I mean, we started there, they already started the internship. For the first week of April, they are in the first internship. And we have seen the interest from the other players. They have looking for, but we don't have the student right. That's one. Second, as I've already mentioned, they will get into the industry-based capstone project. That's because that 3 months will ready for the industry. That's become a state of art. I mean, the kind of facility they have it over here, the smart classroom. When I say the smart classroom, it's not that the project and the AC. We don't, it's a paperless organization. Everything gets stored, everything is on a hard drive, everything accessible to anywhere. This is the fundamental of the smart classroom. You don't have to bring your paper, you don't have to take a note, everything gets recorded. Everything is at your accessibility. So that's where the smart classroom is, because we want to give the feel of what they're learning and how they can apply and improve further on. So they should, in person, they should experience the first time. Then only they can think of. That's a few pointers that we bring on. I mean,
so amazing. I think the kind of program which you guys have made is going to be way much more rigorous than the points which you're telling me. So the inside journey, which is going to happen with these students after onboarding their journey of MBA program, is going to be quite rigorous, and they'll be big, and surely they'll be very much thick-skinned to take all the possible opportunities after the college is got over, right?
Yes, it is going to be rigorous, no doubt, but it's a fun field. I would say it's a rigorous, but along with the fun way. I mean, we want students to enjoy this, because unless and they enjoy, they start enjoying it, of course. And lastly, I would say, moment we say the big data analytics says that it is only open to the engineers. No, it is not. Anybody who can deal with the numbers and analyze that, and they think of what the best decision can be taken on this number, the best suited for the program.
No doubt.
Programming is not required.
No doubt. No doubt. Any which ways, these guys will be techno managers, not the technical labs who will be working on this technology altogether, right? So amazing. And there's an important disclaimer: people who are looking forward for PGDM applications, see the description box so that you guys can see the important links and register yourself to get counseled for the best colleges coming ahead in the journey. All right, Mr. Sobesh, it was a fantastic session that you have come for, and I really appreciate for the time which you have taken for making this session very much possible and feasible for all the other students, for enlightening all the possible experience which you have got with the IDDM. I wish you all the best, and I hope all the best brains of India will come and join the institution in the upcoming time.
Thank you, Abhijit. Thanks for your time. Thanks for inviting me for this session. Hopefully, I would have added some points to the student who are looking for the, I mean, their management program in their career growth.
But time will have more such sessions where you can share more knowledge about each and every specialization and its role, so that students get more awareness and we are able to make them prepare for the best of the possible colleges and the courses ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Subesh. Thank you so much.